Am I running for re-election? Who knows? But I'm approaching this job like I'm not. You got a reckless politician right now, is what you've done. I'm going to do some things that I probably wouldn't have done, okay? Because I'm not cared about getting re-elected right now, okay? And we're thieves. Get us on ethics if you want to, if you find you got us. That's easier, maybe. Come prepared tonight to really discuss in length Senate Bill 639. There's an Economic Development Commission that was created by the state. I asked Senator Nivers to introduce the bill to advance it. Stop. You know, it meets the law. We are lawful people. Now, it was introduced. I went to testify on it. This isn't any new language we've invented for Washington Parish. Every expropriation law in this state has this same identical language we're talking about. I asked him to, that's how it got there. You want to know that's how it got there? He did. And I testified for it later. Because I told you that's what I'd be for. I thought that's what you want. I thought that's what the public would want. I agree. You should not turn expropriation powers over to individuals that are not elected. Even though in some of your eyes we're nothing and we're thieves and politicians are in the gutter, I probably need to stop there. I'll do it. But we need the same tools. And you think about expropriation, and it stirs people's emotions because it goes against the grain of America. It's like talk about seizing a family farm. Constitution of the United States. And if you want, it's in Amendment 5. And at the last of it, it says.
Could you read it to us, please?
I just think the last part's what's important.
I want to know if...
Well, you can go read it.
Okay.
I'm going to read the last part. After the last semicolon, here's what it says. Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation.
Public use,
Public
sir.
use.
That's the conflict.
Wait. Are we Supreme Court justices here? Hey, haven't the Supreme Court ruled on this?
Yes.
Hey, listen, y'all had your turn to be fish, ma'am. Now, I agree with you. I don't think government ought to be like the Supreme Court said, where government can take land for a strip mall. I oppose that. I don't think that's right. I agree with you. But let's face it. The Supreme Court ruled on this and said it's lawful. Now, and it's been here since 17 and what? When do we use it? When do we use it? Let me finish. I'm going to challenge you. You can come back next week.
Would you mind not looking
No, ma'am.
like
Shut up,
the
please.
devil?
You have your turn. I'll take it away. You come back and blow me away next week, okay? And I'm going to take you on in. Get you on.
You is out.
Come on.
This is the president.
Come on.
I'll sit down.
Come on. Now.
Be seated, Mr. President.
Now.
Mary Edel, as a resident and voter in Washington Parish, I urge you to go on record in opposition to Senate Bill 639, sponsored by Senator Ben Nevers, that will create the Washington Parish Economic Development District. Senate Bill 639 creates yet another political subdivision, much like the Washington Parish Reservoir District, with a board of appointed commissioners that are not accountable to the people of Washington Parish, but who will wield enormous powers of expropriation of private property, this time in the name of economic development. Every property owner in Washington Parish has cause to be very concerned about this bill. This legislation was not put to a vote by the voters in Washington Parish. It is yet another stealth bill designed to circumvent the voting process. If this economic development district is so good for the people and landowners of Washington Parish, why not let us decide for ourselves by getting a chance to vote on the bill? Further, the landowners in the unincorporated areas of Washington Parish will have no representation on the proposed Economic Development District's Board of Commissioners if this bill is passed. Over 200 years ago, our forefathers fought a revolutionary war over taxation without representation. Now the landowners of Washington Parish face expropriation without representation by a gang of 7 appointed commissioners who may decide the fate of their property if this bill is passed. Please return the democratic process to Washington Parish and allow the voters of Washington Parish a say in our future. As voters, we elected you to represent our interests. We are not opposed to economic development. We simply believe that it should remain in the private sector where buyers and sellers work out their own agreements. Government should be in the business of governing, not in the business of expropriation of private property for the economic gain of others. Thank you.
I agree. You should not turn expropriation powers over to individuals that are not elected.
Beach from Bogalusa, Louisiana. This bill was submitted by State Representative Bryant Hammett, who sits on the Ways and Means Committee. He's also on the State Bond Commission, which he's the chairman of the Ways and Means, so that makes him available to sit on the Bond Commission. And he's also hired as the surveyor for the Washington Parish Reservoir. And I see a conflict here. Do you? There's more people making money off the Washington Parish Reservoir than anybody here in Washington Parish. And another thing, I would also like an update on Senate Bill 639. And I want to know if any of you who oppose the expropriation, did any of you contact Senator Nevers and ask him to remove it?
My name is Winfred Clinton. No law should be written on Washington Parish giving anyone other than the parish council the sole authority of expropriation inside the rural boundaries of this parish. If SB 639 passes in its current state, there will be 8 entities with the power of expropriation over the residents of this parish. They are Angie, Baldor, Franklin, Bogalusa, Washington Parish Council, the Reservoir Commission, Economic Development District, and the Louisiana Department of Transportation. I agree also with Mr. Taylor. We may need some assistance from the state in our goal for economic growth. I believe that when a law is written towards a certain group of people, then that law should be written to meet their needs, instead of the needs of special interest groups or that of politicians. On the 24th of April at this council meeting, some of you said you didn't know about 639. On the 20th of April, Senator Nevers said that he introduced this piece of legislation at the request of Mr. Taylor and the parish council. Outside of a couple of councilmen, the main question we would like answered is, who is lying and who is not? Since a meeting may have taken place, my questions are, when and where did this meeting take place? Why wasn't the public made aware of it? Who attended this meeting? Were minutes taken at this meeting and can they be obtained? Why wasn't 639 treated like any other bill instead of keeping it quiet if it was supposed to be so good for this parish? When were you going to inform the public of the full contents of 639? Thank you.
You think Senate Bill 639 is a backdoor bill in case the Reservoir Commission fails you are paranoid and chasing ghosts. I support Senate Bill 639. And it's sitting over there floundering right now. And don't get a positive signal out of this council, it's going to die. And in fact, I'm going to ask for it to be pulled if you don't give me a vote of support. And it'll take another 2 years to get us right back to where we are again if we want to do this next week. Because of the way laws in the system works. I'm fighting for it. I'm fighting people. And if I can get it, I'm going to fight you for it. And I'm going to fight you. I'm not going to come take your land, okay? I'm not going to take your land. We're going to take land. I can't tell you what the Reservoir Commission would do. And we have a commission that oversees it. I forgot to mention the Ethics Commission. Lord, turn us into them. You know, we could be in trouble with the Ethics Commission. We don't have to commit a crime.